This is going to be a very unscripted video, so if it's chaos, you know, we're going with it. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are excited for this. I will be discussing some of my October hopefuls and discussing the readathon that I'm partaking in and some of the books that I really need to read this month. Before we get started, please remember to do all those YouTube things. I get tired of saying them so often, so you know what to do. Just do your thing. Let's just jump right into the video. So just a bit of housekeeping stuff. If you have been following me for a while, I decided to pull back my double posting a week because I just felt quite overwhelmed and I just felt like I couldn't come up with the masses of work. But I think I have like a good rhythm again. I will now be posting Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Mondays and Fridays will be long videos or vlogs or sit down videos, and Wednesdays will be shorts. I don't have any other housekeeping, so let's just jump right into what I plan to read for the month of October, or for the spooky month. Spooky month. I will be partaking in Becca's Spookoplathon. This might be the last year that she's doing it. I don't know. I really hope not, because I've been enjoying these. And I'm not going to be setting a TBR right now. I will be rolling as I go because I have discovered that I'm more of a mood reader now. So if you tell me I have to read this book at the beginning of the month, I might change my mind at the end of the month. And I don't know. I just don't like it because I've made a commitment to myself. And if I drop the commitment, I'm like, I feel bad. Spookoplathon, I will be posting weekly vlogs about that. I will roll as I go, so once I finish a book I will roll again. You will see the board here, obviously. Let me just scooch because I think it's a big board. The ones that I really don't want to get is a book over 500 pages because I got that twice in a row now. Every year I get a book above 500 pages, and it's usually a book that I don't have audio for, which is probably my fault as well because I can just go look which books I have audio for, but I'm just like Usually you just want to physically read. I just hope that is not one of the ones that I get. I also am not a big horror fan, so if I fall on a horror space I'm gonna freak out. Obviously you don't have to read a horror book. You can read a book that's based on the vibes on the spot you fall on, but I am nothing if not committed. And now we get to some of the books that I have to read because either I'm partaking in buddy reads, or I have arcs due, or I have book club books that need to be read. And some of these book clubs I don't have to necessarily partake in, but I love, just opening up my horizon. I don't know if it's going to be set in stone, but by the time I'm filming this, Stalking Jack the Ripper would have won for the virtual book club that I am part of in South Africa. So we might be reading Stalking Jack the Ripper, or it would be Rock, Paper, Scissors. I cannot remember, but by the time I'm editing this, if it has changed, I will say which one is which. And then I'm also part of Emmy, she's really big on YouTube right now, Emmy Rosam's book club over on Fable, and I believe this is the book they're reading. I know how the cover looks, I just can't remember what it's called. So here's a picture for you. So those are the book clubs. The arcs that I need to read, the first one is Storm of Ink and Blood by Nisha J. Tully. If you have been following me for a while, you would know that I started reading the arc Heart of Night and Fire, and I really enjoyed this book so much. So after the first book, I've just been applying for the second and the third book in the series. Storm of Ink and Blood is now the third book, and hopefully we might get some answers. It is a cool trade, so there's going to be another book. So this is obviously going to end on a cliffhanger, and I myself love cliffhangers because I know Nisha writes quickly. So by the end of February, March next year, we might have the next book in stock, which is fine. So in this book we follow Zarya, who has been held captive in the sea cottage, and one day she manages to escape and she goes to the big town where there's lots of food, lots of spices, lots of vampires and dragons and all that kind of stuff, and she slowly learns that there is some magic attached to her, and that's why she has been hidden from the world, which is kind of dangerous for her part. And then the next arc that I so graciously received Where the Library Hides by Isabel Habines. Basically the second book in the Where the Library Hides duology. I can't even remember when I read this book, what the river knows, but I love this book so much, gave it 5 stars, and have been anxiously waiting for the next book to come out. and I finally got my hands on it. So thank you to the author, thank you to NetGalley, thank you to Hot Escapes, because I need to know. There's so many things that book ended on such a big cliffhanger that I just need to know. So because Storm of Ink and Blood is like beginning October that it has to be in, I might just do Storm of Ink and Blood and then jump to Where the Library Hides. They're not spooky at all, but it's fantasy, so, you know, I don't know. I'll fit them in some way. Then for the buddy reads, I will be reading Zodiac Academy 2 and 3 with my bestie. I'm sure everyone knows what Zodiac Academy is about, but if you don't, it's about these two sisters who go to a fae world where their zodiac is linked to their powers. I have read the first book. Just so you know. You know, I fail to describe to you what these books are about. But yeah, they're quite fun books. They're also fantasy, romantasy, fantasy. The first book has a big bully trope in it, which I didn't like, but I was invested enough to move on to the next book. I am also busy with a vlog for this one, so it might be up in like June, July next year. Who knows? Because we have to read like 19 books, and my bestie and I are adamant we are reading it by order. So, yay! That sounded like sarcasm. I wasn't sarcastic. I'm actually pretty excited for this. Then I also recently finished Foxglove by Adeline Grace, and I really enjoyed that book, so I want to dive into Wisteria, which is the third book and the final book, I believe, in the Belladonna series. It's basically about this girl who's a reaper. She can see death, and she also solves murders by talking to ghosts and whatnot. It's also Regency kind of based, so if that's your kind of thing, you know, it's kind of gothic, Regency, romantasy. About fantasy romance, historical fantasy romance. Am I just throwing genres out here? Like, there you go. And then we jump to witchy books that I want to read, which includes Spellbound by Kelly Armstrong, as well as 13 by Kelly Armstrong. I DNF'd Spellbound, I think, in April, May, around there, because I don't want the series to end. So I was like, okay, let me just put it down. One day I'll read it. That one day has come, one day is now, and I need to read it now. It's an urban fantasy series centered around werewolves, witches, ghosts, and there's a vampire somewhere along the line, but she's not like the center of attention, and then demons as well. I don't want the series to end, so I've been postponing and postponing because I know I have this small feeling, and I say this every time, 13 is going to break my heart, and I'm not ready for that. Anyway, moving on to another urban fantasy that I've been slowly getting into is Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series by Laurel K. Hamilton. I recently finished the second book, so I want to jump into the third book, which is Circus of the Damned. I don't know what this book is about. All I know is about a vampire hunter who is also an animator, so she revives zombies. Well, she makes zombies. Basically. Usually she has like these high-paying customers who will do anything to get a zombie for whatever reason possible. Some of them are weird reasons, and reasons I'm like, ew. Luckily, Anita Blake has like a moral compass in her, so she doesn't just do it willy-nilly. She usually needs reasons for you to do it, and if she doesn't agree with the reason, she flat out just refuses, which usually puts her in a lot of danger. And then I think the last book that I want to read in this month would be The Monarchs by Cass Morgan and Daniel Page. If you saw my Spookoplathon vlogs last year, you would have seen I read The Ravens based on Becca's Rex, and I really enjoyed that book, and I decided somewhere along this year I need to find the second book. I did get it, and to keep up with tradition, you know, a year later, I will be reading the second book in this. And it's basically about a sorority of witches who usually fall in like, not difficult times, but they surround themselves accidentally with a murder mystery that's happening and they need to solve it. So I'm quite excited for this one. This is also YA, witchy, fantasy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me down below if there's any spooky books you want to read or any recommendations. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.